I was helping my best friend chase after the school heartthrob but ended up ripping off the bully's swimming trunks. I thought it offended the school bully, but he stubbornly bit my lip, saying angrily, "Tell me what exactly is it about him that's better than me?" Said with a disgusted look. I don't know either. Why don't you ask him, Jay? Fresh university students are about to report. My friend Shun Shoya, Yi and I took advantage of the last summer vacation to make plans to go shopping together at the newly opened mall in the city. Shen Yi, sitting by the side of the cafe, wore a downcast expression. The spoon in my hand kept stirring the little liquid left in the cup, and I let out a sigh. When, do you think HS noticed me yet? When, it seems like there's a girl hanging around him lately. Could she be his girlfriend? I reluctantly took a bite of the cone you just bought. I really can't help but feel frustrated that he just can't shape up. Yi, if you really like him, just come out and say it. Don't worry about all the ifs and buts. Just go for it and ask him straight up. That's all there is to it. The province is pondering this on its own. J2. When, do you think him like you always going straight to the point? Not at all. I'm actually quite reserved. I've been single since birth for 18 years. I've never actively pursued a guy before. Who isn't? Shenjia and I have known each other since junior high school. But at first our relationship was limited to just having met once. One day after school, I ran into Shenjia being extorted by several older male students from outside the school. I stepped forward and heroically came to the rescue of the damsel in distress. From then on, she vowed that as long as anything belonged to Shenjia, it would surely belong to me too, and she promised to grant me a lifetime of glory and wealth. What a big mouth for a middle school student. I just took it as a joke at the time. But later it turned out she really could. Her family is so wealthy that I can't even begin to imagine it. Her parents travel constantly, both domestically and internationally. And every time they come back, they bring her a pile of high-end gifts. Ever since I became friends with Shenjia, she's been showering me with all sorts of gifts every single day. When you can't skip breakfast. This tuna sandwich was made by my aunt this morning. Here. Have some. From now on, you'll take care of your breakfast. Here you go. Each person gets one of the newly released game consoles. When, the latest model phone lets each get one. It'd be so nice to chat together after school. Jay. When, my dad signed us up for a summer camp abroad. Let's go together. Jay's such a wealthy, generous, kind, beautiful, an adorable, unrivaled best friend in the world. 1. That's enough. When. He is here. What should I do? Suddenly, Shenjia beside me grabbed my arm tightly, her eyes wide open, staring intently out the window. Hey, Shenjia, you scare me half to death. Who's there? Can you stop jumping around like that? I followed her gaze and looked out the window. A teenager wearing a white shirt is walking toward the cafe, with a slender figure and sharply defined facial features. He sports gold-rimmed glasses beneath a high, straight nose, giving him an air of gentle elegance and refinement. Why does this person look somewhat familiar? I think I've seen it somewhere before. Wait, isn't this Liu Jinan, the campus heartthrob of S University? That's right, it's definitely him. S University, S campus heartthrob, Liu Jinan. Are you talking about S University, the one we're about to head to? Why could my information possibly be wrong? As an HE girl who's been hanging around the campus network for years, I've long since figured out all the school's prominent figures. I didn't expect that even before classes started, my crazy minus love best friend had already fallen for a sophomore senior. Still the school heartthrob and still gay. Just because she often ran into him by chance at the subway station and he even found and returned her phone, her heart was completely won over. Shenjia, wake up. I've heard HS is celibate type. HS completely unmoved by girls. Some people even say he likes guys. Either his top isn't up to par, or his bottom isn't up to par. What a lovely name, Lu Jinan. May peace and happiness accompany you throughout this life and all future lives. He was sitting with both hands resting on her cheeks, her gaze distant and dreamy, a faint blush spreading across her face as she seemed lost in her own world. Are you even listening to me? She said. As the ding-dong sound of a wind chime rang out, the cafe door was pushed open. Wu Jinan walked to the front counter and said politely, "Excuse me, I'd like an iced Americano to go, please." "Thank you." Jay, shop assistant, smiled and said, "Hello. Our store is running a promotion today. Half price on your second drink. Would you like to get another one?" "No thanks, I'm fine." "Isn't this the opportunity?" "Wait a minute, we want it." The two people at the front desk looked at us with puzzled expression. "Hi, senior. Let's do a group buy. We'll each get a drink. He'll transfer you the remaining half of the money." "Miss, I'd like a rock coconut latte. With less ice, please." Before Lu Jinan could even refuse, he finished it in one go. "It's got to be me." Kia's little face turned bright red, and her two hands gripped my arm tightly. I gave her a look that clearly conveyed my determination to succeed. "Handsome guy, your 2 cups of coffee are ready. Senior, let's add each other on each other'll transfer you the other half of the payment." As I spoke, I picked up Shen Jia's phone and prepared to scan the code. "No need, let me treat you guys," he said with a faint smile, then turned and walked out. Hey, the plot was supposed to unfold like this. Was what I'd read in the novel wrong? Was Lu Jinan really gay? When? It seems like he doesn't remember me anymore. A trace of tears shimmered faintly on her rosy little cheeks, and it looked like they were about to spill over any minute now. I quickly tried to comfort her. "Don't worry, Aunt Mary. Don't worry, he just hasn't recognized you yet." After thinking for a moment, I said with a smile, "I've got it. I'll whip up a plan for you." Shanjia Yi wore an expression full of confusion yet brimming with trust in me. Just because she had such faith in me, how could I possibly fail to secure my best friend's happiness for the rest of her life? So I came up with a meticulously crafted win over the guy plan. When Shanjia Yi saw my plan, her eyes widened into perfect circles. I was so surprised I couldn't close my mouth. Before we even had a chance to catch the cow, it already made the offering. After returning, I drew upon all my lifelong learning and years of hard-earned experience, combined with insights from various reference books, and wrote it all down by hand. Is this him pursuing me, or is it a test for me? Huan Ning, please just leave me alone. Let me do something more socially acceptable. Don't worry what's there to be afraid of when I'm here with you. School starts soon. And Jia and I not only both got accepted into US University, but we also chose the same major. Sorted by the first letters of our names, we even ended up in the same dorm room. What an incredible best-friend destiny this is. We've agreed to go to the registration together on the first day of school. Early in the morning, 3 luxury cars were parked right outside my home. Anyone who didn't know would have thought they'd come to pick up the bride. Yeah. Is this a bit too much? It's just the start of the semester. There's no need for such a big fuss, right, Jay? I can't help it. This is just the most ordinary car in my family. My dad said the one in the back is for us to put our luggage, and we'll both ride in this one. I pointed to the car behind us and said that. There's another one? All right. It looks like I'm already on track to become famous at school by the first day. As expected, photos of the two of us getting out of the luxury car quickly appeared on the campus website, accompanied by several others. The man in black helped me carry my luggage, and suddenly, I ended up sharing a room with the daughter of a wealthy family. There's even a bodyguard to pick me up and drop me off. This real minus life, high minus society life is right before my eyes. The other 2 roommates stared at us in surprise. This is a little welcome gift from me. I hope you'll like it. Jia Yi took out the LV silk scarf, which was wrapped in a gift box, and handed it to the 2 people standing before her, who were staring in astonishment. Wow, Ji. You're really generous, Jay. Your roommate is just nice, isn't Hesh? Roommate A said. Want to go check out the student club recruitment at the cafeteria. You might even spot a handsome guy. Jay, why is there another fanboy girl again? Is one Jiayi not enough? I suddenly had an idea and leaned in with a curious expression as Senior Lu Jinan around. Jiayi's face instantly flushed a deep shade of red. Do you know him too? It's possible, you know. You might even get to see Ji Jingchen. Jay. So, what are you waiting for? Let's go. Our group set off in grand style straight for the cafeteria. Roommate Tay suddenly exclaimed excitedly, wow. We're so lucky we got to see the campus heartthrob and the school bully together on our very first day. Party. I looked up and saw that Lu Jinan and several boys were coming from another side path, heading this way as if they were headed toward the cafeteria. His appearance is already good enough to hold his own. The boy standing next to him, with a completely different style, was equally dazzling and I-catching. His features were exquisitely refined and perfectly sculpted. His thick eyebrows rebelled, arching upward with a hint of defiance, while the space between his brows and eyes exuded a certain wildness, giving him an air of carefree nonconformity. I knew him. His name was Ji Jingchen, and he was roommates with Lu Jinan, the legendary school bully, captain of the school basketball team, and from a family with deep-rooted connections. Rumor has it that Ichi is aloof, cold, and not one to mess with. Yet, despite that, many girls still go crazy for him. Still, seeing the real person in 3 dimensions for the first time is even more handsome than in the photo. I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. Looking so engrossed, have you taken a liking to someone? Roommate B grinned mischievously. I snapped out of my daze and suddenly had an epiphany. I turned to my 2 roommates and said, we've still got some things to do. So you guys go check out the club first. Could you grab us some flyers? Thanks a lot. We'll treat you to dinner tonight. The 2 roommates exchanged glances and could only nod in agreement. Better to seize the day than to pick a date. Let's do it today. I turned around and immediately took Jiayi's hand, heading toward the cafeteria. After investigating over the past few days, I figured out the school heartthrob's preferences. He loves the sweet minus sour pork ribs from the cafeteria. After rushing into the cafeteria, I ordered all the sweet and sour pork ribs and asked the aunt to divide it into 2 portions. One a meal plate filled with sweet and sour spare ribs, and the other a large takeout box. I have to say, this plate filled with sweet and sour pork ribs just looked so much like feeding time. As soon as the group finished eating and sat down, I took Jia by the hand and headed straight toward them, carrying our spoils of war. Imagine Jinan eating the spare ribs fed to him by Jia, his eyes filled with emotion. I can't help but feel smug about having such a great best friend as Jia. Just as I was thinking that, suddenly my foot slipped on something. The body lost its balance and immediately dropped to its knees, falling forward. The plate of spare ribs in my hand landed squarely on the pants of the guy sitting in front of me. Wenning, are you okay? Jia rushed over anxiously to help me check. If I'd known it would hurt this much today, I never would have worn a short skirt. It's just so painful. The knee pain made it impossible for me to stand up for a moment. At that moment, a low, cold voice came from nearby. Shouldn't it be me who's got the problem? Jay. Done. He's the school bully, Ji Jingchen. I actually ended up dumping an entire plate of spare ribs on the most intimidating person in the whole school on the very first day of school. At this moment, his brows were slightly furrowed, and his deep, narrow eyes stared intently at me. A smart woman doesn't take unnecessary risks. No matter what, I'd better admit my mistake first. Sorry. I really was paying attention. As he spoke, he used his hand to scrape the pile of ribs off his pants, trying to clean them thoroughly. Don't even get me started. Today's braised pork ribs in the cafeteria are incredibly tender, soft and mushy to the touch. I only felt the other person's body stiffen slightly, and as my hand made increasingly firm contact, I suddenly realized something was wrong. I was just fiddling with his Patenji. This new fin looks unfamiliar, but she's got quite a few tricks up her sleeve. To put so much effort into this one dish of sweet minus and minus, our poor Cribs, it really took a lot of money and effort. The two boys beside him were laughing freely and unrestrained lie. Shut up. The school bully glanced at the person next to him, and then there was no more sound. More and more onlookers gathered around, and occasional whispers could be heard. He leaned slightly forward, staring at me with eyes as dark as the night, in which not a single ripple could be seen. A freshman? I nodded awkwardly. Still on your knees? Even if you like me, you don't have to bow so deeply. Only then did I realize that I'd been kneeling in front of him all along, in a posture reminiscent of a maid. I quickly helped Jia Yi stand up, her legs trembling slightly. Lu Jinan, who had been silent all along, finally spoke up. Jing Chen. Let it go, don't scare the junior student. Jay? I immediately said, I really didn't mean to do it. I can compensate you. Just figure out how much the loss is, and they'll pay you for it. Next to her, Shen Jia Yi chimed in, that's right, we'll cover. The school bully raised his eyebrows slightly. In his eyes pools of deep shadowy stillness, narrowed ever so subtly, revealing nothing of his emotions. He got up and said, forget it. Is that it? Aren't they all saying that Major Ji Jing Chen of S University is a ruthless and decisive man, and anyone who offends him ends up badly? I heard that back in high school. A girl confessed her feelings to him, and somehow he managed to make her drop out of school altogether. I offended him in front of so many people, and he even touched a place I shouldn't have. Wonder whether he'll hold that against me. Back in the dorm room, my two roommates were staring at me with admiring expressions. Wen Ning, you're really brave. Right, in front of the school bully you even staged a wrestling match. I'll never forget you for the rest of his life. Wen Ning, him announcing that starting today you're the Feng Tou of our dorm, we're all going to hang out with you. Do either of these two hilarious roommates actually care about me? My dear Jie is still the best. She brought me some topical ointment for promoting blood circulation and removing, and didn't forget to remind me not to run randomly. After the cafeteria incident, I calmed down for a while and didn't dare to cause any more trouble. I went home on Sunday to celebrate my grandfather's 70th birthday, and I didn't return to school that night. I planned to rush back early the next morning for the morning class. The subway during the morning rush hour is really crowded, packed tightly. Just as I was feeling relieved, an unseen force suddenly pushed me forward. The whole person suddenly leaned forward, plunging headfirst into the chest of the boy in front of him, his nose and skull throbbing with a sharp pain. It hurts. Just as I was about to look up to apologize, another wave of inexplicable pain tugged at my scalp, and I couldn't help but let out a soft sigh. I was completely dumbfounded. My hair seemed to have gotten stuck in the zipper of the guy standing in front of me. I endured the pain, repeatedly saying, I'm sorry. At the same time, he kept pulling his hair hard, but no matter how much he tugged, he just couldn't pull it loose. Just as I was at a loss and about to call for help, I finally got a clear look at the other person's face. The whole person froze. It was Ji Jing Chen. On his sharply defined face at this moment, a pair of deep set eyes stared at me with a look that was half smile, half nah. Am I experiencing a Mercury retrograde lately? They really made a complete fool of themselves. And every time it's always the same person. Are you following me? A sly expression appeared on his face. Noah. Ouch. 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 Don't move. At this point, I didn't have time to explain much to him. To avoid the pain, I could only stand pressed against his chest in a rather strange posture. I don't know how much time had passed, but the subway was finally about to arrive at the station. My school bully and I helped each other out as we walked out. I suggested, how about we go find a pair of scissors? Okay. But as soon as you exit the subway station, there isn't a single stationery store in sight. Am I supposed to enter the school looking for scissors in this pose? It's just so embarrassing. As I was about to enter school, I wore a look of hesitation, and my steps grew slower and slower. He seemed to sense my discomfort, so he pulled the baseball cap from his own head and placed it over mine, pressing it down low. Some the other hand encircled my neck, burying my head against his chest. What are you going to do? My cheeks instantly flushed with heat, and I felt both embarrassed and agitated, wanting to push him away. If you don't want to embarrass yourself, stop fidgeting. I was speechless. He has a fresh, sunny scent of grass and plants, really pleasant to smell. I could almost hear the sound of his heart beating steadily in his chest. Thump minus thump. Just then, a burst of boys' laughter came drifting over. The sound grew closer and closer, and at that moment, the school bully also stopped in his tracks. Hey, Brother Chen actually indulged in meat. A teasing male voice came from above. What girl could possibly win over 10G? Stop hiding its hours already. Kay, the school bully, tightened his grip slightly on the other hand and snapped. Get lost. Can't you see him busy? Several boys burst into laughter and started heckling, calling out, hello, Sister Minus and Minus Law, before heading out toward the outside of the campus. My ears felt hot, and I blushed deeply as I shouted, hurry. Hurry and find the scissors. I finally found scissors in the school's print room and managed to separate them successfully. Just as I was about to flee, my path was suddenly blocked. Kind to run away once you've gotten into trouble? I turned my head, looking utterly pitiful, and said, Senior, I really didn't mean to do it. I'm apologizing to you sincerely. I'm apologizing. Who is the older sister? Capable of bending and stretching. He immediately bowed at a 90-degree angle upon finishing his remark. Do you have to perform a deep bow every time you see me? Leaning lazily against the wall, he said, What's your name? Which department are you in?